Hi folks, these are some of the Sea People's figures I picked up last year. If you recall, I did show the armies a few weeks ago. Sort of badly painted, part undercoated. These are the, what are these? The Sheridan Bodyguard figures, sort of undercoated in a browny spray paint of some sort. These are quite... These are, what are these? Sheridan? Are they Sheridan? No, these are Pelicet or Denven or Tajeka. And they're all painted with this kind of reddy bluey brightness, and the spears. So I'm going to need to do something with that. And this one is, let me just look. This is a Teresh, again painted with the same reddy blue. I think the guy, whoever owned these, was using a fantasy something. What he's done there, he's stuck a bow on the back, piece of wire and bent it look like a bow, which is fine, but I mean I shall pull that off. What I want to do is, there's about 100 and some of these painted. I really don't want to paint the whole figure again. It's just it's not like an army I'm starting from scratch to collect. I just want to get on with it, so I'm going to see if I can cheat and sort of probably put stainers on the hat or on the flesh. I don't think I want to go into the full sort of 4 or 5 shade flesh, not with having sort of 300 or 400 figures to paint, so I might just be lazy and try shading these, put some washes on, like a flesh wash, or what's the other one, flesh wash, brown wash, isn't it, mid brown up to, what's the other one, strong tone or soft tone. Some of those sorts of shades I'm thinking, see if I can get away with just part painting. That's my plan. Obviously going to take them off these square bases. Eventually they will be based in 3s or 4s depending on how they fight. This spearman he actually was a swordsman, because the sword's missing out of the sheath, and the guy has drilled him out and put a spear in, so he can say it's a spearman. All I'm going to do then is just repaint. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So there's a whole batch, I'd say about 100 or probably more, that have been part painted, and then there's probably another 100 or more that are like this that have been sprayed, and I've probably got another 100 or more that are just bare metal. So lots to think on. I'm going to play around today, see if I can just have a go at and see what works. From then I'll know how to paint the rest of the army, hopefully. Right, so I'm going to crack on, make some progress, and then come back to you. Okay, so progress has been made. Well, some progress. I haven't started on the Sheridan figures, but these figures, now this one is, let me just look, this is the Teresh. He is pretty well much finished. Doesn't look much changed, I don't suppose, to you guys, but what I've done is I've added some shading to the skin tones, shading to the kilt in the red and the blue, added a beige or khaki trim, and painted the weapon bronze, obviously because it should have been bronze. He'd cut it as silver before. Basically that's it. Touched up the hat as well. So I'm now going to put I'm going for a flesh wash to start with. I think that should work. Oh yes, I repainted the belt. So on that one, shield's undercoat ready to go. That's going to be a bronze shield. And here I've covered up the blue because the blue t-shirt he'd got is actually a bronze, what do you call it, cuirass. Seems to be. They've molded it as sculpted it as a bronze cuirass. I've left a spear because it was super glued in, so I couldn't get it out, so I've had to leave a round point. I couldn't put a flat point on. That's as well, super glued. Kilts had some shading, put I can't see that, sorry, put a couple of shadings on that, a khaki trim, touched up the leather work on the strap and the sword scabbard. I know he's got no sword in there. There's nothing I can do about that, really. I'm just going to leave that. Oh yeah, the top of the hat. This is supposed to be the horsehair. I've just put some shading on that, same as with the kilt. And I've put, again, bronze, what would you call that? A bronze base of the hat. It's probably bronze, a bronze helmet, isn't it, with feathers attached, or horsehair attached, they think, possibly. And he again is also going to have one of those. I'll just turn the camera down a bit. One of those shields, which will be bronze. It's brown undercoat at the moment, so I'm going to stain and varnish the figures. Again, I'm going for flesh wash, so we'll get on with that and see how they turn out. And once that's dry, I'll then stick the shields on the hands, obviously, and then put bronze paint on there, and then some washes. So I'll get that, and then I should come back and see the finished item. Right, there we go, all finitoed for the this is Teresh and the Pella set. This guy is a Pella set apparently, and this guy is a Teresh, yes. So these were the guys that were part painted, and I've cleaned them up and done various things to them, he says. I'll just turn them around so you can see what they look like from the back. Obviously they've got to be based, but I'm not basing yet till I've got 3 or 4 figures. Some figures will be 3 to a base and some figures will be 4 to a base. But the shading seems to have worked, so this is me being lazy, only having to part paint them, and I think I've cracked it. The shields are a nice bronzy colour, painted the gold, goldy brassy colour, and then I put a sepia wash on, as John had advised me to do that. So that's had a sepia on, but I'll just move them over a bit. I don't think they're looking too bad. I'm pleased enough with those. I've now got to get on with the Sherdens, so I'm now going to do the Sherden. That's the Sherdens are these figures. Don't know quite what I'm going to do, but I'm going to crack on with those, and I'll come back to you with some progress. Right, there we go, all done. That's my first test pieces. Hopefully you guys think they turned out alright. They look pretty good to me, considering this was a lazy way of painting. As I said at the start, I've part painted these. None of these have been fully painted. I was just too goddamn lazy. But I don't think they've turned out too bad. Say I've got a couple of hundred of these figures to paint, so I was looking at the best way or the quickest way to get through them. And I think I've discovered, as I said previous, with these two and these two, I'll just move these out of the way. What we've got here, what did I do with these? These guys just had 2 shades on the flesh over top of the that sort of dark orangey brown, yeah, and then I've a dark tone wash on the leather armour, bronze helmet, bronze sword, bronze shield. The shield has had a sepia wash as well as a flesh tone wash, and then the bronze and the face and all flesh areas have had a flesh wash. And I'm quite pleased with how these have turned out. I mean, I've got some of these for an Egyptian army as well as the bodyguard. I'm also obviously going to use these in the Philistine / Sea People's armies. Yeah, so there we go. I'm well pleased as a test run. I suppose the next thing I've got to do now is get on with some units. I'll take some stills and put them at the end so you can see probably what they look like better, but I'm quite happy with how I've done. So thanks for looking, and bye for now.